students, a handmade plate is a thing of beauty. There's nothing nicer than being able to eat off a really great handmade plate, an excellent piece of quiche or pie or a delicious BLT. I have a great plate here by one of my favorite potters, Kirk Lytle. You can see that he has this really funny cat flying two ducks in this comical little airplane here, and he does a lot of cartoon characters on his work while using really traditional wood firing techniques. You can see that this is beautifully trimmed with a swirl, and then there's his little chop. This is a plate from Jugtown Pottery. This is a really small dessert plate, and it's stamped here. It's stamped with Jugtown Ware 2007, and this was made by Pamela, one of the owners, Pamela Owens. So this is a beautiful stoneware plate thrown at Jugtown. So I'm gonna throw a plate for you right now. Always we try and throw our plates on a bat. A bat will stabilize the plate and we can move it without it flopping or warping. My bat is a little off center, but it doesn't matter. As long as the clay is centered, it won't matter if the bat is slightly off center. So I'm gonna seal my clay down. I'm gonna grab and squeeze my ball of clay. This ball of clay is about 3 pounds. And depending on what you're going to use a plate for, really determines how much weight of clay you need. So a good size for your standard dinner plate is about 4.5 pounds. I have a 3-pound ball of clay here, maybe a little more. So I'm going to make a plate that's more sandwich sized, between a sandwich and a dinner plate. Before I open, you all need to get your clay down into a low hockey puck shape. So, okay, so I'm back. I got the barking dogs in, and now I'm ready to lower this ball of clay into that nice hockey puck shape that I was talking about. So I take my ball of clay, I take the side of my hand, and I'm really pressing down to lower the clay. But at the same time, I'm leaning in with my left hand because I want to avoid getting a deep underhang here and trapping air pockets underneath. So you can move your clay down, but you don't want to do it so radically that you trap air pockets on the side. That's the job of the left hand as the right hand pushes the clay down. As I get a little bit lower, I start to move and spread the clay out and compress the surface with my sponge. And now I feel pretty comfortable that this is low enough that I can start to open this and create an interior. I'm gonna slow my wheel down. And I like to open large flat forms using my sponge. You'll notice immediately that when you open a large flat form, you're gonna get this little ridge that raises up that you have to stop and push back down into the rim of your plate. Otherwise, it just keeps extending, will fold over and then peel off eventually. So right where I left off, I continue to spread and open my ball of clay. If you feel like you need to stop and compress your rim, you can do that. And I'm going to start from the middle and open wider. I'm very careful not to press down too firmly right where the floor starts to curve up into the wall. This is the danger zone, students. You can easily press too firm right here and then get a moat that dips down into your plate, and that's always kind of sad. We're looking for the interior of a Frisbee. We're looking for a gentle sloping curve where all the yummy sauces and juices flow towards the middle of your plate. Before I start to create an edge to my plate, I'm going to go in with my my smooth metal rib, lay down flat, and compress the surface. I go over the surface many times, still being very careful not to dig in right here and create a moat, really looking for that nice soft curve. Once I establish that, I'll come in and I'll compress my lip. This is where I grab the side of my clay, I reach underneath, and I make my first pull. With a plate, you don't make a lot of pulls because you've done most of the work spreading this out and compressing it. So there's not a lot of work to be done here on the edge. You're mostly concentrating on the inside. But you do need to grab and pull your rim out. And I usually only do this one time, and then I'll kind of shape it on the second pull. If you get this too thin, you risk having your plate flop over. Now, if you pull out your rim and it looks like a shallow bowl, that's totally normal. You need to slow your wheel down, take a very clean and dry metal rib, no water resting on your plate, and then you can lay your plate down a little bit. And reestablish that interior curve. If your plate is soaking wet, you won't be able to do this and your plate will flop. This is only working because my clay is really dry, my hands are pretty dry, and my tool is not coated with water. Now that I flatten my plate out again, I can compress the rim, take my wooden stick, undercut, turn my wheel off, lift it up, and now I have a really nice large sandwich plate for decorating and for trimming later. Thanks, students.